All right. The next book that I'm going to be reviewing is called What Feasts at Night. It is a standalone sequel by T. Kingfisher, a standalone sequel to What Moves at Night. Um, Very important that I say it is a standalone sequel because that, if I'm not mistaken, that is what I read it as. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's what I read it as. That being said, it stands on its own quite well. I went in with the with the understanding that it is a standalone sequel. So while I expected to be, uh, you know, let in the mystery of some details, I was expecting it to at least explain itself, right? To not let me completely in the lost. But obviously, there were going to be some details that I was just going to lose. That's okay. I was willing to accept that. This book does a very good job of making sure that you are not lost, despite this being a sequel. And I think that is very good. At no point did I really feel like I was missing something. There were only certain parts where I was like, ooh, this being a sequel really shows here. I really did miss a couple of books. But those were few and far between, and they weren't that important. It was just a few like character moments. So that really wasn't that big of a deal. The world is very descriptive. You really it feels like the world from Nosferatu, the new one of Lily Rose Depp. It like when I read it, that's what I saw just because of the way it was all described. Let's test these lights. Hold on. Nice. I'll keep that on. The world is very well described, and each character has a really good personality, and I really do mean each character. When I there are a few characters. There's the main character. There's like I'd say five other people, and whenever each one was talking, I really understood it. I really was not confused, and I really felt like the author Kingfisher gave each character a very understandable, very clear personality. They all act different. They all talk very different. They all react completely different to a bunch of different circumstances. And I really appreciated that. It made the world feel more alive because it made it feel less. What's the word that I wanted to use? I can't think of the word. It just made the world feel more dynamic because it didn't feel like I was reading one character written just a tiny bit differently, if you know what I mean. So that's a huge for me at least. That is a huge plus. I really like that about T. Kingfisher's writing. Secondly, um, so the characters were written well. The dialogue, the world building, phenomenal, and that's pretty much where it ends. It's a short book, 151 pages. Now to get to the negatives, of which there are negatives. Um, Unfortunately, the downside to uh, this book is that, and it is unfortunate because it was doing a really good job. I forgot how to make this thing. I think it's a dropper and an observer. I think that's how it is. The big downside to this book is that it's a horror or thriller, and it revolves around this spirit that like haunts everybody, right? Um, Unfortunately, that part is really lackluster, and I really do mean lackluster. It is not good. The horror aspects are very poorly done, in my opinion. They do not. It really was not good. Um, Especially because most of the time, chest goes here. Because the book revolves around this spirit. I forgot. I think it's called like a moroi or something. It revolves around this moroi, and it exists, but it does like that thing from if you've ever seen Smile, the horror movie Smile. It does that like thing where what goes here. I really forgot how this works. It does that thing where like how do I explain it? Where it toys with you with the psychological torture, where it um where it's like, is it real? Is it not real? Does it exist? Does it not exist? Right? It does that for the entire book. And for me, I really don't mind it for a movie like Smile, because for me it enhances the horror aspect of it. Like for me, like the way it works in the movie in Smile is that no one believes the demon is real because the demon keeps making itself not seem real. For me, that's scary because it's like, oh, if this actually happened in the real world, like no one, it could very well happen and no one would believe you, right? That's what makes it scary to me. In this book, however, you never actually see it happen for certain from the character's perspective, the main character's perspective, which is where you see all of it. You never really see it happen, which means you as the reader are left in that state of guessing for the entire book, which is a big downside because it's a horror novel and you are supposed to be scared of the monster. But if you have no reason to believe the monster is real, it doesn't sit with you, which really sucks because you want it to sit with you. So that is extremely unfortunate in my opinion. I really forgot how to build this. I think there's another hopper right here. Another hopper right here. And yeah, I remember now. So most of the book is spent with the characters being haunted by this creature called the moroi, right? And the character doesn't believe it for most of it, as I think any sane person would go about believing such a thing. He really doesn't believe it, which means we don't believe it. And occasionally we see it, but unfortunately we see it in dream sequences. And that really sucks because you see it. The book is very descriptive when it shows you what the demon looks like, which sucks because the demon looks really cool. It's described really well, and it's one of the and those scenes are some of the strongest in the entire book because of how good they are. But but the entire time you're just thinking, oh, this is a dream sequence. Is this even happening? You know what I mean? And that weighs it down a tremendous amount because it's like if this is a dream sequence, what's the point, right? Like this doesn't exist, and that really sucks. Most what sucks even more is that those dream sequences really only happen towards the end part of the book, and that hurts a tremendous amount because you're building up to it. The world is good, the characters are good, the dialogue is addicting to read. You're really invested in what this monster could be, but you never know for certain if it's real or not, or if it's your character hallucinating, of which is of which happens a lot in the book. Characters hallucinate all the time, so you're expecting your character to hallucinate and expecting it all to not be real, especially when the main character himself doesn't think it's real, which sucks. Which sucks because even when you do get the good scenes, you're just like, what's the point of reading this? Like, I don't know if it's real. And by the time you do know it's real, it ends 20 pages later in a very unsatisfying way. It really sucks, and it sucks because those horror portions, are the best parts of the book, and they're extremely unsatisfying. Can I do this while we're here? Hold on. Oh wait, you put the concrete up here. I keep forgetting how to do this. There you go. And it really sucks because those portions of the those portions of the book are they're very descriptive. Those are the best written. Like if I thought the world building and the characters were written well, those horror parts are written extremely well. The monster is extremely graphic, not graphic as in like hard to look at. It's graphic in terms of like you can vividly see it. And yeah, that really sucks. That really sucks. Good world building, good writing, poor execution towards the end. Really towards the end, it really fell flat towards the end. Fortunately, the good writing on the build up half really holds it up. So I give it a 3-star. I was considering giving it a 2-star, but I did give it a 3. I give it a 3-star because it was written well. We just needed more oomph, less of the, oh, does it exist, and more of the, let's deal with the monster. It exists. Let's handle this. Let's talk about the cover. The cover is really nice. The cover is half the reason I bought this thing because I was like, wow, this cover is like really nice. I like covers that do not have that author name big, and this is a perfect example. The artist clearly had something in mind. The words, it feels nice on the hand because it's smooth. It's got bumpy ridges. It looks nice. It really makes you wonder about what the monster could be because of the visuals of it. It's just like a rotting horse corpse. Looks really nice. I thought that was pretty unique. And yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Tea Kingfishers. What feasts at night? I wish it was better, but can't have everything you want.